Hey, welcome back to Rick's Reviews. I'm your host, Movie Real Rick. And today, we're talking about one of the greatest and most popular shows of all time, Game of Thrones. So after the final season premiere last Sunday, I've discovered that there's a lot of people who have never even seen Game of Thrones, which was really surprising to me because it's like my favorite show of all time ever. I realize it may not be everyone's favorite show, but it's certainly up there for most people, including my own dear sweet mother. I remember warning her, "Mom, it's pretty violent and there's kind of a lot of nudity, but I think you'll really like it." And she did, and I think you will too. The show takes place in a fictional country called Westeros, which is essentially England, except the northern part of the country is wintertime year-round, and then there's about 1,000 characters, each of which have their own backstory and subplot. Based on that description, the show doesn't sound that great and certainly not original. At first, the huge cast list with multiple main characters is a little confusing and hard to follow. But within just a few episodes, you're already taking sides as the unique characters are so interesting and captivating. And because there are so many, everyone finds a character that they closely identify with. You love the good guys almost as much as you hate the bad guys. And sometimes the line is blurred between who is good and who is bad. And you don't know if you should root for them or against them. But what makes this show so unique and elevates it above so many others is that it is totally unpredictable in that there are non-stop plot twists and main characters get killed off suddenly and without warning. You grow attached to these characters sometimes for years, and then one episode, things go sideways and, they're dead. Usually when you watch a movie or a show, you pretty much know who's going to live and who's going to die. Not this show. Game of Thrones will have you guessing until the very end. Plus, the production value of this show is just spectacular, with HBO dropping over $10 million an episode. They spared no expense, from the sets to the wardrobe, special effects, and did I mention that there's f***ing dragons? This show has just as good, if not better quality, as anything you'll see in the theaters. Game of Thrones is also very empowering for women, as it features multiple female badasses going around kicking ass and taking names. But this is definitely not a man-hating feminist show either. That's Lifetime. This is HBO. And since it's HBO, to go along with all this female empowerment, there is a plethora of boobs in the show. Sweet, round, luscious, tender, smooth, supple, firm, youthful, perky boobies! Is it hot in here? You know what, just give me a minute. That's better. Anyway, as if the boobies weren't enough to get your heart racing already, this show is also inundated with graphic violence and general mayhem. As it turns out, people love to watch savage brutality, which I think is because so many times in real life, we're forced to be politically correct and find diplomatic solutions to all our problems. But deep down inside, you just want to call them a bastard and chop their f***ing head off, and then swing by a brothel on the way home. Unfortunately, we can't do that. So instead, our homicidal urges and deviant sexual desires are satisfied by watching the characters do what we can't in Game of Thrones. Needless to say, this is strictly an adults-only kind of show, which I think is a major selling point. These days, every big-budget movie is geared towards the whole family or oftentimes just kids, with a few jokes worked in for the parents. But this show is made just for us. The 8th and final season just premiered on HBO last Sunday with 5 more episodes to go. If you are caught up and currently watching the new season, be sure to check out my other limited series, Rave of Thrones, where we talk in detail about what went down in each episode of the final season of Game of Thrones. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my review, please like and subscribe, and comment below on what you think of the show and my review. And tune in next Friday and every Friday for new reviews on movies and TV shows. Same Rick time, same Rick channel. Thanks for watching Movie Reel Rick.